Philip Kotler, Chaotix, The Business of Managing and Marketing in the Age of Turbulence. Welcome to the Age of Turbulence, where change and uncertainty are constants in our interconnected global markets. And Chaotix, The Business of Managing and Marketing in the Age of Turbulence. Philip Kotler examines the challenges and opportunities presented by this chaotic new environment. Expect a journey through the exploration of a chaotix, or systems designed to cope with turbulence and uncertainty, shedding light on early warning alarms, scenario construction, and quick response systems. The book also highlights factors that contribute to turbulence, such as technological advances, disruptive innovations, and hyper-competition. By understanding the forces at play, companies can better identify opportunities, respond to market shifts, and successfully navigate the turbulent waters of the modern business world.
Turbulence, a new normality. Today's business climate is characterized by extreme turbulence and interlocking fragility caused by the integration of technology and global markets. Rather than passivity and patience, executives must embrace the unknown and adapt with systems designed to cope with risk and uncertainty. The traditional cycle of upswings and downturns is obsolete, and firms must protect themselves from vulnerability and seize opportunities to maintain profitability. In today's business world, patience and passivity can kill profits in firms. Turbulence is the new normal, and uncertainty will continue to be the enduring market condition. In this interlocking fragile economy, the actions of one firm, market or nation affect many others. To cope with this uncertainty, organizations need systems that incorporate risk and uncertainty. Leaders must embrace the unknown while being disciplined and exercising common sense. They should know how their actions will affect their business, and must protect themselves against vulnerability. They must also seize opportunities, taking markets from competitors, recognizing untapped segments or absorbing faltering competitors. The traditional cycle of upswings and downturns is obsolete. Globalized business and technology have created a new normality. This new normality requires firms to build systems to detect early warning signals, create appropriate reactions, and respond to market changes. The systems should collectively come under the rubric of chaotix. In the end, the key is to adapt and thrive amidst this turbulence by embracing the unknown, being disciplined and innovating with systems designed to cope with uncertainty. 7 factors for severe market turbulence. Change is the norm in today's world, and organizations face unpredictability in every sector. The interconnectedness of the global economy implies that a disturbance in one industry has far-reaching ramifications on others. In this scenario, managers and marketers should watch out for 7 factors that are likely to cause severe turbulence, which includes disruptive technologies, the rise of the rest, hyper-competition, sovereign wealth funds, the environment, and customer and stakeholder empowerment. Astute leaders must learn to adapt to these dynamics and be responsive to market fluctuations. Managing turbulence. Leaders in the business world are often tempted to cut costs and become excessively cautious during turbulent times. However, this can lead to detrimental mistakes, such as diverting resources, cutting costs too broadly, and neglecting new product development. Instead, leaders should stay true to their core values and focus on building long-term relationships with stakeholders, such as suppliers and distributors. They should also prioritize their marketing efforts, focusing on customer segments and leveraging intangible assets such as brands. To effectively manage turbulence, leaders must embrace chaotix management systems and remain vigilant, questioning their assumptions and staying apprised of industry developments. Above all, they must be prepared to expect the unexpected. The business world is full of uncertainty and risk, and this is particularly true during times of turbulence. Many leaders are tempted to become overly cautious in such circumstances, cutting costs and avoiding risk in an effort to safeguard their businesses. However, such an approach can lead to a number of common mistakes that end up endangering the business even further. One such mistake is diverting resources from the core strategy. During turbulent times, many leaders are tempted to pursue new ventures or take on projects outside of the core strategy in an effort to generate quick cash. However, this can often lead to expensive mistakes and a loss of focus on what really matters to the success of the business. Another common mistake is to cut costs too broadly, rather than focusing on specific, weak divisions. While cost-cutting is often necessary during turbulent times, spreading it too thin can lead to a reduction in dynamism and overall effectiveness. Similarly, risking stakeholders to pursue short-term cash gains can backfire, leading to long-term damage to the company. To manage turbulence effectively, leaders must remain true to their core values and ethics, keeping the financial fundamentals in mind at all times. This means staying apprised of liquid assets, such as ready-to-sell goods, and avoiding quick fixes that may end up being expensive in the long term. Furthermore, leaders must focus on building long-term relationships with stakeholders, including suppliers and distributors. These allies should not be treated as short-term costs but rather as essential partners in the success of the business. By seeking out partner-oriented suppliers and staying true to core values, leaders can weather the turbulence and emerge stronger for it. When it comes to marketing, leaders must also prioritize their efforts, focusing on well-defined customer segments rather than individual products. Intangible assets such as brands, customer equity, channel loyalty, and intellectual property should also be leveraged to build long-range, stakeholder-oriented connections. Leaders should consider less costly digital marketing campaigns and be willing to drop non-performers in order to save the strong and lose the weak. To stay ahead of the curve during times of turbulence, leaders must embrace chaotic management systems. Old-school 3-year plans are no longer sufficient for keeping up with the rapid pace of change. Instead, leaders should engage in triple planning for current, mid-range, and long-range time frames, remaining alert to opportunities and dangers that arise instantly. This means going where change is happening, meeting young people in the field, and watching industry outliers for new developments. Finally, leaders must be prepared to question their assumptions and stay vigilant at all times. Unfiltered information can offer valuable warning signs of failing business tactics, and leaders should be willing to question their own assumptions and seek out new ideas. In summary, managing turbulence in the business world is no easy task, but it is essential for survival and growth. By staying true to core values, focusing on long-term relationships, and embracing chaotic management systems, leaders can weather the storm and emerge stronger than ever. Creating viable futures. Learn how to create scenarios of viable futures to prepare your business for turbulence and chaos. Part of a chaotic management strategy, this involves identifying turbulence drivers, levels of uncertainty, and clear enough futures to develop workable scenarios. At the same time, it is essential not to get bogged down by too many options. Instead, focus on a few potential futures and build from them. In the face of true ambiguity, it may be necessary to jettison weaker parts of a business and focus on core strengths. Ultimately, the goal is to provide a guide for leaders to create businesses that can thrive despite the chaos they may encounter. When events like the September 11th attacks occur, leaders must recognize them as unknowable and adapt to new solutions to keep their businesses running. Embracing change for business success. Companies like IKEA remain responsive, robust, and resilient in the face of constant change by adopting a clear-headed strategy that shows flexibility, vigilance, and willingness to accept uncertainty. To achieve this level of success, businesses should make strategic planning more dynamic, facilitate cross-functional decision-making, and break large organizations down into smaller, flatter groups. By doing so, businesses can respond quickly and effectively to changing market trends, instead of letting the market dictate to them.
In conclusion, Philip Kotler's Chaotix offers valuable insights and tools for thriving in the face of turbulence and uncertainty. Companies must develop resilience, flexibility, and a keen sense of the market to quickly adapt to ever-changing conditions. Contemporary business leaders need to be well-versed in the fundamentals of chaotic management systems, ensuring they can address potential threats, recognize opportunities, and make informed decisions. By embracing and understanding these new challenges, companies can better position themselves for success amidst the chaos, strengthen their core strategies, and cultivate long-lasting, dynamic relationships with customers and stakeholders. In this era of unprecedented change, Kotler's work is a must-read for every entrepreneur, executive, and manager looking to weather the storm and seize opportunities in the age of turbulence.